Guys, me picking on Spyderco knives has almost become a running gag on this channel. I do love a lot of Spyderco knives. They've made some of the best knives that have ever come out. Occasionally, though, they do have missteps. There are some bad Spyderco knives. We're going to look at this one today, the Spyderco SMOCK. I just hate this knife. All right, guys, like I said in the intro, I do understand that this is an immensely popular knife. I can't figure out why. This is in a very small group of knives from Spyderco. As much as I give them a hard time, Spyderco makes a lot of great knives, and I can honestly say that there's only a few that fall into a category where I think they are bad knives, and the SMOCK is one. I apologize, Kevin SMOCK. I know you're a good knife designer. This is based on a custom that he made, Kevin SMOCK did. So there are some good things about this knife. You've got a very nice edge profile. It is just radiused enough to get you enough belly to do some cutting, but it still is straight enough that you don't slip off the cut like you do with some other blade styles. It's a kind of a modified Wharncliffe, modified sheep's foot. The flipper tab. The flipper tab on it is one of my favorite flipper tabs. There are several knives that have this. The Matse Basilisk, there we go. I had to pause and then think for a second. Had a very good flipper tab like this. The flipper tab just completely disappears. The blade grind on it is done really well. It's got a nice hollow that comes down to a good behind the edge thickness. As you can see, I did lay the angle back on this to make it even thinner, and it's a very slicey cutter. The jimping on it is great. You've got superb jimping on it, and there's a lot of weight reduction in this. Just that Spidey hole there, even though it's not a real functional Spidey hole, you can kind of get on it and you can thumb roll it. But between that and the speed holes they've run through this, make this a fairly light knife for its size. Let's do some quick size comparisons so we can look at those, and I can show you just real quick. There'll only be a couple. So Benchmade 940, most of you guys are gonna notice, you can see it's a little bit bigger than the 940. And then as always, your final knife, Chris Reeves Ben's Large 21, and it's just they're just so close in size when you look at the edge profile. So another knife you guys should know real quick, but let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit more. So like I said, not real heavy for its weight. The compression lock on this is unique. Having a button compression lock is very good. The compression lock is one of the strongest locks on the market, and then to be able to make it into a button is pretty cool. I think that I would have appreciated it more if they just done this instead, the CME style thing. And then materials on it. You know, you can't fault the materials that Spyderco uses. They've got multiple different versions of this and different steels and things like that. And Spyderco has been known for putting out quality knives in quality materials, and these are no exception. So that's where the good stuff ends, though. There is a laundry list of bad stuff with this knife that just put it on a list of knives that I consider bad knives. So let's turn it around. You guys go visit Coffee Brand Coffee ad real quick, and we'll bring this back and look at the bad stuff. Guys, you guys know I love coffee. I even have my own personalized coffee mug. But did you know that a lot of the coffee companies out there take a lot of the money that you give them that they should be throwing back into the company to make a better product and turn it into activism dollars? Coffee Brand Coffee does not do that. They take no stance politically any direction. They take all the money that they make and try to make a better product. So if you want to support this channel and a company that I absolutely do like the fact that they don't lean either direction politically, check out Coffee Brand Coffee. There's a link down below that will save you 5% at checkout, or you can use the coupon code CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp, all one word. They also have cold brew coffee, teas, and cocos, freshly ground and roasted to order. So check them out, support them, and support this channel. All right, now let's jump into the laundry list of reasons I do not like this knife. First of all, it's not a real attractive knife, but then again, a lot of Spydercos aren't. Where you start really getting into it is when you just look at the functionality of this. So first things first, the pocket clip on it is really a bad hotspot on this knife, which is not typical of Spyderco's, and we'll get into why. So the first things first is this is one of the few knives I will say I understand why people complain about choils. This choil does catch material. It catches anything you're trying to cut because it is weird. It is a very weird sharpening choil, and it is very sharp and abrupt and does not taper in very well. The reason you have this crazy big choil is not for you to get up in, because it's really kind of hazardous. You really can't get up in that, and it's not comfortable once you do. It's to accommodate your stop pin and button for your compression lock. So you're losing a good chunk of your blade because of the lock style. I don't know why they didn't think of this. I know why they couldn't do it, because where your flipper tab is, that's where your button would need to be. But it definitely takes a lot of your blade away. You lose a lot of functional blade, which is why, once again, I say that that would be a better option. Next thing is the handle on it, because of where you can't put anything, because you have to have room for your flipper tab, you can't remove any material there. You are all the way back here. You're way back here away from it, and it's not a comfortable angle to be cutting from. You lose so much handle. All of this material is wasted. So I do have 4-finger grip on it, but it's not a comfortable one. It feels out of sorts. It doesn't feel like I'm in line with the cut. It does not feel like I have good control of this knife. You can get up on it like this, but then it kicks it back and it's in a weird handle. And to tell you the truth, this is one of the worst knives for alignment to the cut. When I put this knife in my hand, the way I would hold it, this is aligned up with my wrist. Let me show you a different knife. So this knife in my hand, when I hold it, it lines up with the cut. It lines up with my wrist, with the bones in my hand, much, much better. This, once I get a hold of it, is completely out of alignment. This is not how I cut. I have to then readjust into an uncomfortable position where I'm feeling like I'm way up on it in a weird position, because of all of this space to accommodate this button lock version of the compression lock, which could have easily been done away with if you just went with a regular compression lock. You could have a lot more room. And then you get into just the complete weird ergos that go with all of that. You've got such a weird ergonomic feel in hand. Everything about this knife does not feel good in hand, in my opinion. It's just not pleasant. Pocket clip, like I said, because you are so far back, if you were up here, that pocket clip would be nowhere near as bad. If you can get up on it like this and have that be comfortable, which it's not for me, it is with that Matse, but that not on this, it puts that pocket clip in a much more comfortable position. But when you're back here, which is one of the only options you got for holding, it is just hot spot city all over your hand. So as much as this knife is loved, I just don't understand it. And there's so much wasted space in this knife. You could have had a more robust blade. You could have dropped this down. This could have been a bigger blade down in, but then they've used this lanyard post, which I absolutely hate, that limits your blade to handle ratio. You've got a very, very limited blade to handle ratio, which is a thing that happens in some Spydercos. But this one is about the worst. There's just so many things about it. And then the fact is, the action just really isn't all that smooth. You can do the button thing where you hold the button and it drops, but if you get off of the button, it's not smooth. If you get off of the button on this, it's still pretty smooth. If you, there we go. If you shake it home, it's got a nice smooth action. This is gritty and not smooth. So this is just one of those few times that Spyderco really just missed the mark and put out a bad knife, which is out of character for them. Shame on you, Spyderco. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you back out about your day.
There you go, guys. And like I said in the intro, if you've made it this far, Spyderco very rarely has bad knives. Even the Sleesh Bowie, which I don't like, is not a bad knife. There's very few, and the ones that pop to mind for me are the SMOCK and the Tough. They're just, in my opinion, not good knives. So take it as you will. I know a lot of people love this knife. I just wanted to point out why I think it's a bad knife, and especially just not a knife for me. I do know I have a lot of friends that love the SMOCK. I just can't. So that's it on this one, guys. If you like the video, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, there are some ways. I do believe, if I remember now, because this is after a while that I filmed the earlier parts, I think I dropped an ad for Coffee Brand Coffee in, or said I was going to. So Coffee Brand Coffee is a big sponsor of the channel. I love them. Jeremy over at Decording has made a company that is completely guilt-free, because they will not support any political agenda at all. It's risk-free because they have a money-back guarantee. Some of the best coffee you're going to find. Tempered Trail, also a channel sponsor. You can use coupon code CrazySharp at either one of those vendors and save 5%. The Coffee Brand Coffee, use the link. It's easier, it's better, it's built into it. And I also have a coupon code of Crazy Sharp, all one word, at two other vendors. That would be FerrumForgedKnifeWorks.com and Rosecraft Blades. So I've got you some coupon codes. I'm working on getting more. If you're going to do some Amazon shopping, please take my link, pin it to your browser, use it for any shopping you're going to do. Sports channel doesn't cost you anything at checkout, just makes Bezos pay me a little bit of that sweet 1% of what you bought. And I have got a membership that's all tier-based. Everyone has access to the Gilded server, which is where we hang out. I make announcements. I do a lot of fun stuff. We form friendships. I do early access to videos for the members. I do exclusive content for the members. I'm probably going to film some later today. And you can get all that. And if you're a baseline or premium tier member, I do giveaways on the Gilded server. Well, at least I announce the winner and post up a link to a video where I drew the winner. And you can also, if you're a premium member, use my sharpening tutorial series that's here on YouTube behind the paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.